parents and peers. My name is Sheneice Gbbs-Bodrick, and the title of my story is A Born Survivor. I was born July 18th, 1976, in Brooklyn, New York, with a twin brother. Everyone called me the mean twin, and him the loud twin. My twin and I did everything together. We were even in the same class, from pre-K to the 3rd grade. Our family did everything together. Prayed, ate, we even had family night. It seemed like we were always in church, mainly because we were singers. Not only was my father our choir director, but he was also the assistant pastor of our family church. I loved the block that we grew up on. We had a block association that blocked up the streets every weekend. We could play all types of games. That was the big family days, where aunts, uncles, cousins were always there. We always had plenty of food and was always clothed. We didn't want for anything. I really thought my family were the Cosbys. I never saw my mother and father fuss or fight. There was nothing but joy from what I could see. When I was 4, my sister, 3 years older than myself, threw me through a closed window. I was rushed into surgery. When I woke up, I heard the doctor telling my mother and my father that I would never speak or sing again. But by the time I left that hospital, 2 weeks later, I was talking. And a month later, I was singing like I had never sang before. A born survivor. By the time I was 6, things began to change. My eyes began to see things that I had never noticed before. My father had become a monster, mentally and physically abusing my mother, siblings, and myself. My father's famous words were, "One spoiled apple spoils the bunch." Even if my mother did something wrong, we all got beat. When my mother and father finally divorced, I was 6. I thought to myself, great, we've survived that. As for me, I had become an empty shell with a lot of anger and pain, trying to hold on to the happy times, but they kept slipping away. My twin, my sister, 7 years older, and I lived with my mother and my brother. And my older brother and my sister, 3 years older, lived with my father until he remarried when I was 9. That's when I started getting molested by my older brother and cousins. When the doctors in the hospital told my mother what had happened, she showed concern. So I thought, when she stole me from the hospital, she was going to take me home, show me love, and take care of me. But instead, she beat me. Then she told me, whatever happens in this family, stays in this family. After this, I didn't tell anything else. I learned a new method to survive by any means necessary. I became very promiscuous with men, women, boys, and girls. I got pregnant at 13. I had my daughter 3 months later. 3 months before my 14th birthday, a month after having her, I could no longer hang out with any of my female cousins. because their parents thought I was gonna get them pregnant. I went into a deep depression. I had attempted suicide and was placed into a mental institution for the first time for 9 months. I was so angry and acted out so much, they diagnosed me with schizophrenia. When I got out of the hospital, I went to change my daughter's diaper and saw blood. I took her to school with me and told someone. The next day, Bureau of Child Welfare took me and my daughter to foster care. We went to 19 foster homes in 1 year. The last foster home that I went to, the foster mother helped me and my daughter get out and get my own apartment. Now I thought I was grown. At 16, I had my own apartment. I started doing drugs and drinking like it was going out of style. In 1997, I was 21. The mental health system knew me. The mental health, I had lost count of the hospitalizations. So when my daughter was molested, I had my first nervous breakdown. I went to the hospital and she went to New York Foundling. I was reliving my molestations as a child all over again. When we both got out and the man went to jail, we moved to Jersey. In 2002, I tried to get clean and comply with my medications. In 60 days, I was back at it again, taking drugs and no longer taking medication. I moved again in 2003 to Georgia, geographical change. I got here on November 1st. My twin died November 2nd. I had to go back to New York. It was a great experience and sad at the same time. I had to say goodbye to my twin. And I forgave my sister for the torture she put me through. She also forgave me. But what? I don't know. And I didn't care. I had my sister back. I got clean again in 2005 for 5 months until my sister had just with whom I had just gotten close to was murdered due to domestic violence. I attempted suicide and was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder. That was my last hospitalization. In 2007, I got clean from all my mood-altering substances. In 2008 was the day a great thing happened. I went to survivors group. I was miserable because my storage was full of negative things. I was a year clean. I was complying with my medications, but I was miserable. I was so desperate for it to be full, like empty with all of the negative stuff and full with some positive stuff. That's the day I became a survivor and no longer a victim. I stopped selling my body. I passed and received my GED at the age of 32. In 2010, I forgave my mother. I realized that she raised me the best way she knew how. I also forgave my older brother, realizing that he too was and is suffering from a mental illness and was doing to me what was done to him. Today, I love my family. I love myself. When I look in the mirror every day, I see a beautiful, intelligent, awesome motivator, a wife as of September 9th, 2013.
Yes.
A daughter, a sister, aunt, friend, an advocate for all, a born survivor. I learned this after staying in respite in November 2013. You all saved my life by reintroducing me to myself, reminding me of the many talents that I thought I lost, and much, much more. Like if I didn't come to respite, I would have been back to 398 pounds or more, eating and sleeping my feelings away. But you guys sat down and talked with me and helped me to communicate my feelings. Like I have learned from our peers that I can do anything that I put my mind to. All I have to do is reach for it. My goals in life are to continue to advocate for all mental health, physical health, and substance abuse recovery, to stay motivated and motivate others. In conclusion, my advice to you, as well as myself, is to push, persevere, or pray until something happens. Things don't happen to us. They happen for us to help somebody else. And last but not least, give yourself a break. So be easy on yourself and know that we are all born survivors. Thank you for listening.